anymore, but I can play
That's
with
for sale, huh?
You play the guitar, Lebron? Lebron. Lebron? You play the guitar? Yes. Is it? Yes.
You will do all in English this morning, of course. So maybe Laura and Jeff will
Yeah.
translate. Okay. So I will see, it's better if I think more on this part, but then to.
Okay, but I have a bad
Oh, yes, that's the problem. Everybody
so
needs
I
that.
have to, I
No,
can move
that's
back
okay.
to
Yeah, I understand.
I can move here. Here it is good.
Maybe touches for thinking. Maybe three is okay too.
Or I can sit here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We're live streaming.
Yes, but
Who's camera? Oh, Yuri.
yes.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, mic off. mic turn off.
Yes. It's USB to.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
So
Let's see.
that's all what I have got. I have another one.
How you doing?
That's all.
There's one here, but this
People, there were a few people asking for shampoos and soaps and whatsoever. I have a bag with what I stole from different hotels. So if there are,
I'm the only one washing me.
you are the only one who is washing. Okay.
All for me.
Yourself.
Hello, I'm Sandy. Nice to meet you.
Mr. Black.
No, you're. Michael, the French Canadian. No, English. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Because this
Oh, yeah. And then you put that on. Got it. That's not the same.
This is an,
Tu peux encore, tu peux la redonner. Parce que moi, je redonne quand même.
je vais te donner ça.
Oui,
S'il y a
ok.
quelque chose,
Les autres, ils sont trop mauvais, c'est pas grave.
For the newbies,
Alors, je suis responsable.
you need to write your name here and your.
Je suis membre non-French is not French.
Off is some.
So I have pencil. It's all bring it back.
Not you are Mr. Black is sleeping also on the yes,
Yeah, they had some spread with
12, yeah. You're in 12, you're together with
Yeah, and they have biscuit, cookies,
yeah,
bread.
yeah.
this one
But I
you
know
can,
it's French.
But there is different types of.
sorry, this one you can use.
No,
Yes, for sure.
Because this one is a double one.
Got it.
That's
I'll give
18
you
level sockets.
and
On this side that you know,
yeah,
and USB, and then plug it into the socket.
Do you?
So this is
Yes.
Swiss power. You need to definitely need
Yes.
to have this back because it's
everybody to be at 10, very ready.
I was in a traffic jam for more than an hour and a half.
Somebody said that we begin at 10.
Well, I mean, it's not because I am not here that you couldn't have been at that time.
What? How many hours?
Because of the flight, I have to go down to Addis Ababa. It will be flight
Okay.
11 hours.
11 hours. Oh my God.
You're here.
You're here.
We made it.
Wow. Sit again.
Yes. Okay, super. Oh, thank you.
And I will work for this on membership
Okay,
account.
super. Oh, thank you.
Posso ajudar.
It's my real best friend.
Yeah, so you know, used to use it.
Yeah.
Super. Perfect. Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
Doing the application.
That's
Yeah, maybe you can have ready the web application for which one, and then start from the request. I don't know because I haven't used it before.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Now that we are complete for this part of the week, because we have two other people coming from Thursday extra in. We can start with an official opening.
It begins.
It begins.
That begins.
Yes.
Keep the poetry game.
Yeah. So, the idea for this week is that we get together with the Slam community. We are here with people from all over the world, and there are people that are at this moment following us, but that will also be able to come in the breakout meetings during the day, and we do from tomorrow onwards from 4:30 till 5:30 in Brussels time. We always do an online roundup at the end of the working day, where the different working groups that have been working do a roundup of what they have discussed and what deliverables they have met. It's a pleasure, it's an honor to have you all here and to be able to be part with you, although it will be for me only during the daytime here. But let me first start with a little sad message, because a few days ago, suddenly on Instagram, I was completely shocked by a message of the fact that one of the founding fathers of the European Slam movement, let us say, is not with us anymore. So Mick Mangucci, who has been instrumental in the Portuguese slam scene since, wow, 2010, somewhere. And yeah, we were talking still with him half a year ago, I think before the diagnosis was put forward. So apparently, not a lot of people knew. Half a year ago, he was diagnosed with brain tumors behind the eye, and sort of like a few days ago, he passed away. But without Mick, we wouldn't have a barulometer, we wouldn't have had a sort of sound meter, a jury that had applause measured as a sixth jury member. We wouldn't have had the Portuguese slam scene as it is today. So, I mean, I definitely wanted to do this because, I mean, he was also a very good personal friend. I respect him a lot. So, yeah, a bit emotional. And he was just 2 years older than I am. And sort of like it puts things in a bit in perspective. But in saying that, and in memory of Mick, I think he would also have wanted us to definitely get on with things and make sure that in his memory we would also sort of get the work done. We have 4 working groups in the end, where we have 2 working groups that are working like today, tomorrow, and will finish on Thursday morning. And we have 2 working groups that start on Thursday afternoon and that will finish on Saturday morning. Then there is Saturday in the afternoon the possibility to different open topics that hasn't been resolved can be tackled there with everybody to make sure that we present as a sort of open General Assembly towards the World Poetry Slam organization to sort of give them the results of what we have discussed here and the proposals that have been done. Sessions are 10, 11:30. So for the people here present, you know when the breakfast, the lunch, and the dinner is. Then there is an afternoon session from 2 till 4, where we have a little bit of slack, and that's then when the coffee break is there. And then the second session in the afternoon is 4:30 till 5:30, where we also have a little bit of slack because dinner is served at 6, so we have a half an hour run out time before lunchtime, so that we can have the evenings free. On Wednesday, we have a day off. We go to Antwerp, so there is also no online roundup on Wednesday, and it's to give the people time to go to Antwerp, to have some free space, free time. In the morning we have official meeting, and then in the evening there is the possibility for the slammers that have subscribed to perform. And on Thursday evening we have a showcase of Flemish poets, because Flanders Literature is funding this. Thank you very much to Flanders Literature. We have asked people, different good slammers, to come and showcase their talent, and there is an open mic that was being announced. So if there are people coming for the open mic from outside, they can do one poem, and that's then it as such. And this is also to give the chance for them to sort of present themselves to the worldwide scene. And then on Wednesday morning, there is by Flanders Literature a session where they sort of how you can get these slams to your event with what type of funding. So we make sure of that. The first the first days, there is the working group on the Creative Europe project. So the idea for which this was also started was the fact that we would write or rewrite previous projects that we have or just not have used for applications for Creative Europe. We will rewrite with the idea that by beginning of May it's completely finished, and then we can apply for funding with Creative Europe, with the European Commission. So that's one of the working groups. Second working group is what has been called the White Book working group, where the White Book working group is working on formats of a championship, which is continental or world championship, different formats on that, jury formats, obligations, what is expected from the organizers, how will selections be happening to get to a continental and to get to the world championships, and sort of to have also what is expected from the organizers on communication side, on logistics, on hospitality and whatsoever, so that it's also very clear what is WPSO offering, or what can we offer, what can we do. And that, as our friend Christophe said yesterday, so that there is a very good plan on contingency on what is done by whom, and that everybody, that the responsibilities that are taken up are also taken up. And then the last part of the week is on communication, so that as organization, but this is also part that can go in the European project, of course, is on communication, on how do we communicate, what type of communication are we using. For instance, there is more and more organizations in Europe that are quitting X, for instance. So this morning also one of the big newspapers in Belgium sort of announced the fact that they will quit X due to the fact that X is not seen as a social media platform, but as a political party. So decisions that we also need to take as an organization on how are we going on with that, for instance. What campaign is there? How do we sort of communicate on championships, on things like that? And then the second working group is fundraising, where the idea is to have a strategy on the one hand for fundraising, that we also know on sponsorship what can we as an organizer or as an organization give towards potential sponsors and the other way around. And there are, next to the Creative Europe project that we start already today, there is also already a few concrete projects where we need to sort of work on. There is the project for the United Nations Refugee Agency concerning the World Championship in ships in Mexico, where to make sure that there is a funding possibility for flights and lodging and whatsoever, so that we definitely sort of work on that. There is also an adaptation of the project proposal that we had for this one that we need to make for the University of Antwerp, because there is a little bit of funding that we can still get from there. But by the end of the week, we need to have an adapted version on how can we work as an organization with the University of Antwerp. And on the global side, it's sort of the same funding that got a few of you last year in January to the European Championships. It's the same funding, so with the idea that there is north-south collaboration in that sense. So those are two very concrete dossiers that we need to work on, together with them sponsorship and whatsoever. Brings me to the good news. In this sense, the good news is that our friends from Mexico, represented by Canuto here, have confirmed that the World Championships 2025 will take place in Ciudad Juarez on end of May, beginning of June, meaning the 30th, the 31st of May, and the 1st of June. And that at this moment, there is for 36 slammers, slam national champions, there is lodging foreseen with that. That means that there is also for 24 organizers or accompanying national organizers also lodging foreseen. The application that we are going to write is for travel, so that we can also offer national organizations and their slammers travel from their place to Ciudad Juarez there. And I think it's also a very good case where we can already start working and then also help Yuri in that sense for 2027, so that we already have a basis document where we can go when 27, also for the others like Marie-Therese for the World Championships when we go to Moncton and stuff like that. So that definitely there is a basis that we can use and sort of say like, yeah, okay, we know the date, we know the period, this is already our file, we know this, we know, like for instance also from the communication group, how many people we have reached with streaming and so on, and social media, so that this is also a part of, we can take within the fundraising file that we have a sponsorship file where everything is very clear. And there was also a crowdfunding project that was also one of the parts for the fundraising group that we would start off at the end of SlamCubatorLab, that we would be able to put that, for instance, online at the end of SlamCubatorLab, the sort of crowdfunding idea to sort of move forward with that. I think that's a bit the program. The evenings, that's social time. After dinner, in principle, there is social time, unless there would be very urgent type of things that still need to be discussed. At the end of the online roundup, each day, it would be good to make sure that there is a clear set of deliverables that the day after will be reached. So that we sort of say per work group, there is a complete list of deliverables that we are expected to have at the end of the week, but before there, before we get there, that we would cut the things, the different deliverables in little blocks, and we can do breakout sessions, for instance, that you have the working group, but that you even go in a smaller group and sort of say like, these two deliverables, you have an hour and a half, these two deliverables, you have an hour and a half, you go separately to make sure that these things are finalized. I think that sort of like is a little bit what I wanted to sort of say.
And then who's in which group and the roles?
And then who's in, yes, okay. Due to the fact that there are people not traveling due to visa, there are some people, reporters and moderators that are not present. So we should sort of like reconsider a little bit who is doing what. You have the For Creative Europe, it is Anna Capuscio, sorry. That will do the moderation, and I have sort of volunteered to help her with that because of the fact that there is also quite a lot of information that is in my head. And that has been put at different places, but sometimes it's also because there are other partners that definitely want to join, but that are not here. I have designated Carol and Marquis who comes later on for the finance part of it, so that definitely we can sort of like see these are the ideas, and then that there is a concrete type of budget that we can put forward to this, because with the European Commission it's like that, you or get the money or you do not get the money. But if you have asked too little, that's your problem. So that we definitely know that we have asked enough. For reporting, that's Elena. So the idea for reporting is there is a template that has been provided on the drive, that you use the template, and it's not a report, an elaborate report. It's the idea, this was the deliverable. Perhaps if it's interesting to know the end result, then there can be something on the discussion, but for the rest it should be result written, as in this is the proposal, this is how we are doing this, like that. And if you had a half an hour discussion on something and it's only the result that matters and not the discussion as such, then it should not be mentioned. You can, but it's not necessary. So make it simple, because the idea is that by the end of the session, the report is finished. Okay, so that in principle, the reporting is done meanwhile, and that you take the decision, that you sort of get that together with the moderators and the editing people. So there, that we can by the end of the week present the reports all at the online session on Saturday afternoon. And that due to also with editing, that we make sure that we do all the different online translation, because we will use online translation tools to make sure that in all the official languages that we use within our organization, that we then communicate all in the same manner the reports per session.
Do I upload the reports somewhere the same day?
Yes, please. That would be under the working group. I think I should check if there is, if I made the folders completely separately for reporting, or if we put it for the, no, so it's under the working groups, I think. At the working group, and then it's sort of like report session 1.
On WhatsApp, working group?
No, I would, no, Google Drive.
Google Drive.
Google Drive, please. Let's keep the WhatsApp groups to really the core information and to inform sometimes if there is a problem in a discussion, then the problem can be put in the WhatsApp group because people from that are not here but interested in the discussion can then put in by the end of the day, before the end of the day, some of their ideas on that if they are not following live the discussion. That's the reason why we have the WhatsApp. And if there are ideas at that moment, but keep the WhatsApp groups to the specifics of that WhatsApp group. If moderators want to discuss amongst themselves, there is a group for moderators. Reporters, the same. There is one for each working group, and there is one for the pictures. Pictures and videos only in the pictures and videos group, please. So that we keep the groups as much as possible clutter-free. So we had one group where all the information was now in on people going to the airport and whatsoever, but definitely also I will try to sort of see how we do that for the rest of the session. So we also have some people that will follow the Creative Europe online, and of which there are 2 editing people that are online. The 2 editing people are following us online. So this is also then important that we share that information with them. Bless you. The idea is that each report is there in English, Dutch, French, Spanish, Portuguese, but Portugal Portuguese, not Brazilian Portuguese, and then Japanese. So this is the orders that we do this. The Dutch is necessary because they are official documents and we are a bilingual organization published in Belgium as in Dutch and French, so that's why we need to have these documents there also because they are legal documents. Okay? Thank you. So this is also, yeah, this is also good. Second group is a bigger group, is on the white book. Sorry if I talk too much. So we had normally Ian as one of the moderators from Kenya, but Ian sadly did not get a visa, so he will not be present. But Marie-Claude is there, Jeff is doing moderation, that's 2. The idea, it would be nice to have a 3rd person for moderation there. That is something that perhaps need to be seen. I don't know, Benedict, do you want to do moderation at a certain moment?
Necessary.
Okay. Thank you very much for volunteering. No, because we notice also that there is, for working purposes, there are people that have not the complete understanding of the English language. So it could be interesting to sort of have a group working in French on a few of the points that we can put that there, then have a working group in English, but that then the moderators can definitely discuss with each other on that. And that means that we can have 3 breakout groups for the white book, because the topics that need to be discussed and done on the white book are quite elaborate, and there is quite a lot of documentation that needs to pass. Reporting is Canuto,
Katerina is not here, so we definitely need to have an extra reporting person. We have Omar for reporting, but Omar I would put for the reporting of the French-speaking group at that moment. For that. So Katerina is not here. Editing would be for Sepindele and Theophile. Theophile is not with us, but this is sort of like editing to make sure that the document, because for the white book, for instance, at the end, the white book itself would be the scenario for continental and world poetry slam champion organizers, so that it's a document that you can have with the idea as in there are 2 or 3 or 4 different championship formulas of which you choose one, and when you choose one, this is the scenario that you're going to do, and you follow the scenario completely. Most of the things, of the possibilities are all already online. It's just the details and the pros and the cons and whatsoever need to be discussed. There is something on communication, there is something on the, but it needs to be discussed, and sort of like, yeah, this we are going to put in, this we are not going to put in. This is sort of interesting on the side. Yesterday we had a sort of talk on psychology or a psychologist towards the organizers, towards the losing, the people not going to a finals or whatsoever, and so on. Sort of like, how do you create a safe space? What does a safe space mean? This is one of the sessions, by the way, that Tilke will do in the bar this afternoon, because there we have a beer.
My God, things in here.
Yeah, a safe space. Never mind, that's not good. This is an official opening.
Alcohol is not good.
So these type of things. So reporting, that's online, she's online. Lee is online, so I'm not sure if reporting will be good. And Brigitte is also not here. Brigitte was coming together with Faithful. Yeah. So I don't know. So English language reporting. Christophe, would that be something that you would be willing to do?
For what group?
For the white book, together then with, I have Benedict doing the moderation, and then you would,
The note.
if that would be okay. As said, it's sort of like the idea that it's result oriented, and that you have in each Google Drive, there is the first document that is there is the deliverables. Each deliverable has a link, normally, to another document where the discussion needs to go around. So in principle, you have all the elements. It's just in the report, so like, this was this is the formula, or this is whatsoever. And I think that with the little group that are there, you are the responsible for the moderation, you are the responsible for the reporting, but work together in the little groups. We are not big groups of 40 people. We are like 5, 6, 7 people that are in a working group, so please work together and sort of see how people can help each other on that. Thank you very much.
So in reporting, there's a form that I'm...
There is a document. You need to sort of like make a copy of the document, put it on, because there is one template, so you need to make a copy, put it there. Practicalities, okay.
So will you just separate those 3 groups?
This is something that, yeah, so first that, and then I will get to you. I will not, I think that the French speaking and the English speaking, so this is something that we can already separate, and there is a third group possible, but we then need to have a third report.
Yeah.
Yes.
But will you
the French the only French speaking that raise hands.
Okay.
Pour ceux qui parlent seulement le français, enfin, ou le plus parlent le français, je pense que c'est Omar, Nerva,
Jeff.
monteur en chef. Je pense que si vous faites un groupe ensemble avec quelqu'un qui sait, je sais pas,
C'est Omar,
ou Marie-Thérèse,
Marie-Thérèse.
ah,
C'est bon, ça c'est groupe 1, c'est
Et c'est-
Omar, Marie-Thérèse,
mais toi tu es
Jeff.
dans l'autre groupe. And then there is a bilingual
Ok,
group.
attends, on va pas trouver ce que fait. Donc, groupe 1, Omar, Marie-Thérèse, Jeff, c'est qui l'autre, c'est toi, et où?
Exactly.
Very close. For sure.
Very
Because we have three.
Donc, vous êtes 4, c'est bien
Non,
ça?
attends, oui.
Moi?
Non, non, toi tu es.
Non, mais je suis encore une fois, je suis modératrice, je peux pas avec
Parce qu'il y a une groupe bilingue qui peut utiliser ça.
C'est où?
Non, pas. Je suis pas sûr si tu as lui dans ton
Non,
truc imprimé parce que lui est.
Dis-moi ton nom, c'est
Non, pas.
Non,
Non, fais-le. Dan, whose part? Can you repeat, please?
Donc, toi, c'est dans le groupe 1, et vous êtes 5 dans le groupe 1. Vous êtes quoi? C'est
Die komt later, dat is 2 talen. Maar die groot is 2 talen. En dan er is 2 talen. Stimuleren de artiesten. Omar Frans. Stimuleren Engels. Theophile is afwezig, dat is online. Die was vervolgen. En Jacques is Frans taal. Jullie is Engels taal. Yves komt een beetje van een Japan. Ja. En dan dit is Engels. Die komt, dat is Frans, dat is vanaf morgen. En dat is ook online, dat is Frans. Dat is dat. Okay, so which means, and then now. Yes, and then you have Mia from Madagascar online. Marie, yeah, this one. That's one. That's online and French.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
So there are 6 now?
Yeah, so that's the French group. Then you have sorry.
And the 2 others group.
Yeah, and then you have then you have English, which is Benedict.
Yeah, then you give me the second group.
Yeah, so Benedict. Edwin and Canatu. Edwin.
Okay, it's the group of chemical, this one. Okay.
Then you have Lee Alves, that's online English. Liliana Alves, that's online. Then you have Sipindele. Yes, then you have Theophile with I think that you have part is online. No.
Oh, sorry, okay, oh, he's there, but online.
That's Shafe. Shafe is with one. Shafe is with one.
1, 2?
That's one.
1? Okay.
Then you also have Yuri in that group.
2?
Yes, and Christoph.
Okay,
And then you
all
have.
the rest of my group is 3.
And then you have The bilingual ones with Celia,
Group 3?
that's yes,
Arnaud?
no, it's online and that's French.
So that's French too, so group 1.
Yeah, and Brigitte, that's also. Yeah, but this is online. Yeah, then you need to see it.
So for group 3, Celia,
Celia,
1, Jan,
Dareka, so Mark
Jan's not
Leopold.
there?
No, Ian is English. Ian
Yes,
is
but
English.
it's supposed to be
It's
my
online.
group.
Yeah, no, it's online.
It's online, so it will be my group.
No, he's in group 2. Ian is in group 1. Group 2.
Okay.
This is not moderate.
So now group 3, Celia.
Cecilia, yes, Mark Leopold, that's
Me,
Dareka.
and I'm the moderator of this
Yes,
group.
that's 3, and then you have Marie-Thérèse.
Matage in group 1.
No, Marie-Thérèse is
group
on
three?
group 3.
Okay.
Marie-Thérèse.
3, that's Celia, and Eve is not there.
And if it comes down with because
Okay, so I'm sorry, but
and
in group 3,
then
only
only
two
only
persons.
French.
There is one.
Mais juste ça va.
So it's not separate.
Mais j'ai dit, j'ai
How many people do you have?
In three, I just try to go a lot, but I have only one, yeah, four.
If Yves comes
Yeah,
Mais si je trouve
yeah,
les
one,
je suis
two,
plus
three,
four,
5, 6, 7, 8.
okay, but then we are going to take those two
Yes.
groups together as an English group.
So we do after the
Yes,
meeting?
okay. Yeah. Yeah. And then for just to finish off, because for the white book, so we'll have 3 groups that will work. So we will put the English and the bilingual people together. So then we have 11, I think, 11 or 12 people, and then we'll split them up into groups on that. So that there are 3 different topics that will be issued. So the beginning of the afternoon will be also evaluation of past European and World Championship. That's something, and then you have the session on inclusion, which is very important also for the European project with Tilke. And then the 2 other working groups, you have, which is then the communication group. Thank you very much. Where the moderation will be by Dareka and by Yves Nielen, our Belgian colleague. That will come from time to time here. Then finance will again be Makis that will do that. Reporting will be Marie-Thérèse and Jeff. And editing will be
Oh,
Theo.
Jeff is not there.
In communication, second part per week.
Sorry.
But that's something else that we are not going to write this down now at the moment. And then the editing will be done by Theophile, who's online following us, and with Yuri, so that this is it. The group is extensive with that, but this is to help people to that we can get there. And then we have, for the fundraising, we had Faithful as moderation, but that will not be, this is no moderation? No. And Ian is also not here. So there, I think we should also sort of see for a French-speaking and an English-speaking moderation group. You want to do the moderation? Yeah. Okay. So moderation for fundraising will be taken up by Garel. Then reporting for the French-speaking will be Zachary. For the reporting, we then need somebody English-speaking for the reporting still. And then we have editing, and that's online by Brigitte. Edwin, would you be willing to do reporting on the fundraising? Because you're now on editing there. if you would want to do the report for the reporting for the English language group on fundraising, I would also help you because it's already writing the dossier down almost. So thank you. No, Edwin. So that, and then we have exactly for the French speaking, and then we need to sort of see on that. All right, and then the finance part we will. The idea is that at the online session at each evening, that there's what has been decided. So there is 1 hour where then the two working groups have each 20 minutes to present what they have done, what the results are of that, which is 40 minutes, and there is the possibility of 2 times 10 minutes per working group, 10 minutes of questions for the people following online. We need to be aware that there are people that will not be able to speak the language, so that it's possible that there will be translations somewhere to Spanish or Portuguese or whatsoever that are requested. So that's why we have this half an hour breakout possibility that we try not to have, but that this was decided, and these are the topics that we will tackle the next day. That should be in this 1 hour and a half with questions. So if you can reach within 10 to 15 minutes and you can present the deliverables that have been reached and how they, and what then the result as such is, that would be fine, because then there is 5 minutes extra for questions if there would be questions online with people following. If there is nobody interested in that work, I find not that they are not interested, but if there is no questions, then that's it. So thank you very much for that. There was quite a lot of explanation. I think I kept myself to the timing for the first time. So thank you very much. We will have a little break. We'll then set up the different the white book groups, and then it would be nice to, with the moderators, to sort of already see which deliverables which group is going to do that one. And secondly, I forgot that you had a question a little while ago.
I'll remember and I'll get back to you.
Okay.
But it's around the white book writing, that who's writing the final dossier.
Well, that's sort of like, that's why there are a few people. I think if, meanwhile, with all the documents that are already provided, if there's, you can work in these documents, and I will give everybody access now that is here to work in them. Okay. But if then at that moment you can work in them, and then you can finalize, and then it's copy-pasting them in a certain order that it becomes a white book in itself.
So by the time, so Christoph is going to be working on the document for the English speaking?
Yeah, so there are three, we are going to have 3 groups that are doing different type of parts.
Yes.
You have the meeting report, and that's the basis, and the document on the deliverables.
Yeah.
These are the basics, and then the content as such are in other documents, and these need then to be copy pasted later on, or during the time that we are here. Like we have decided to take this in, we have decided to not take this out, to not take this in, and we have a new document, so that we have the history of what we are not taking also. Is that clear a bit?
Yeah, I understand that we're going to be working in groups, but we need a designated person to actually work on that final document and just refine it as according to what we have agreed.
That's editing.
Editing.
That's what for me would be editing.
Oh, okay.
Definitely for the white book.
Okay.
Because after that is done in one language, it also needs to go in all the other languages.
Yes.
So we need definitely to have a very good structure there, and that's why the editing comes in there also. And that's why I think that it's important for editing that they know that you have the reporting, but you work together with the editing and the moderators to sort of see where you are and what. And since we are small groups, in principle, we are all working together, but it's just to have somebody to sort of like, yeah, is that done? Are we there? That there is one person that you can talk to, and it's not 20 people.
The white book, just for clarity,
Yeah.
that is mainly the internal planning and structure of policies and procedures. Am I thinking in the same direction, though?
It's broader than that.
More broad than
It's
that?
broader than that, because it gives you on the one hand the competition format or the choice of competition format for
Yes.
one, but it gives you also on what the contractual basis will be for organizers towards WPSO. So in that sense, yes, it's internal, but it's also external, because it gives also other new partners the possibility to, this is what we need to follow to know.
Right.
Eh? But it also gives the thing as in what are we going to put within this time that we are there in the championship? Is it, for instance, are we doing education? Eh? Because
Yeah.
you said like, are we giving workshops? Are we asking the slammers that are going to the championship to perform? Are we also going to ask them to do, for instance, workshops?
Yes, gotcha.
It could be fun, but is that an extra stress that we want to put on them? Question mark. It's possible, yes, but it's also possible, no. But that is something that you need to sort of, this is what we expect from
Right.
you to provide
Right.
as organizer. So this is part, and I think the education part is also something that will come into the Creative Europe project, and that's why the moments that we are back together for a lunch and this half an hour here and there, that sort of like talking to the others and sort of seeing like, yeah, okay, this is the proposal that I want to do. I want to sort of explain this a little bit. These are the moments that we can work
Yeah.
on. And that's also why you have this one session
Yes,
where everybody that hasn't been in that group
sure.
can also hear what has been done and give an opinion or say like, yeah, for me, okay.
Got it. So that was the leading question to this question. Should the white book be, should that serve as the internal, and we create a handbook for the external, for those who,
Okay,
now
now
that's more presentable as a PDF.
Yes,
Does that make sense?
yeah, that makes, but now I understand your first question
Yes,
also.
right.
Better, yes.
White book is internal,
Yes,
handbook
okay.
is external,
Yes,
and
yes.
it's more presentable, it has
Yeah.
stuff. Got it.
Yeah, it's sort of like, yeah. I understand now what you said.
Yes.
The end result would be indeed that there is a handbook
Correct.
on if I apply.
Yes.
Because now it's all volunteering, but people have sort of like, yeah, we want to do that and we think it's fun to do that.
For sure.
And they can do that most probably, but we haven't been able, or we haven't done any sort of imposing things on them. And we have seen with all the different events and the different formulas that
Right.
have been,
Right.
that it would be nice to know that everybody knows what to expect.
Exactly.
And so it's about channeling expectations of organizers,
Exactly.
slammers, the host organizer also, and WPSO, who does what, who's responsible for what, who
Exactly.
will do what, when, and so on. So
Exactly.
these are indeed the white book things, but some or most of these things will then go into a
Exactly.
hand
Yep.
book like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that you have a sort of like how to organize a world championship for
Exactly,
dummies.
and they just follow the instructions.
Yeah, okay, but thank you for
Yeah.
clarifying this, because it's indeed an important
For sure.
difference as such. And I think that's within the other thing, what do we keep as
Exactly.
internal, and what is things that we can communicate, so that, for instance, you have a two-tier process where people apply and sort of say like, yeah, we want to do it, and then it's sort of like, okay, you are a candidate, now you get the white book,
Right.
and this you need to answer
Yeah.
to all
yeah.
this stuff.
Because we'll continuously work on the white book, and then we'll just update the versions of the handbook.
Yeah, yeah. But that also within whatever we decide, that we do not delete just sections,
Correct.
but that we bar them,
Correct.
or that we make a new document, sort of like, this is the result, but we come from where as I said previously also,
Yeah.
there is a lot that hasn't been documented previously.
Yeah.
We know who the champions were from different years. In the European Championship, I'm talking, for instance,
Sure.
since 2012.
Yeah.
But I think most people don't even remember,
Sure.
except they were there, who participated in it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So,
So that's the next session about that, because it's like
History.
evaluating how
Yeah.
was the last championships, so then we can know like what things work well and why, and what things can improve and why and how.
For sure.
Yeah.
and compare that to the two other versions that
Yeah.
were there, for instance, and also with the European Championship, because there a lot of different formats have been used, where some people are pro this one, others are pro that, and they are valid, the reasons why are valid. So, I mean, these are the sort of things where, and I think documenting and archiving and have a procedure for archiving is very, very important, because there is,
Yeah.
even updating information on organizers, on slammers. That's also why in the European project, if there is a need analysis, well, the fact is, we don't know what the national, every country has a different way of documenting or not documenting, because a lot just
Mhm.
publish, this is our champion.
That's funny.
No. Okay, thank you very much. This is the end of this session. Thank you very much for the people helping with the streaming. Yuri, yay! Thank you.
What time?
11.
11:11.
What time?
It's
What
an
time is it
ideal
back?
moment to stop at 11:11.
What time? Oh, so what time do we start? The next?
In
After
how
lunch?
many,
Is that after lunch?
in what, how many
Break
minutes?
for 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
We have a break, we have 11:30. So we now have a break until after lunch.
Oh.
Ah, sorry.
What is after lunch?
Lunch is at 12.
Lunch is at 12.
45 minutes.
Oh.
So, I mean, we were
One.
supposed to end at 11:30, but it's 11:11.
Oh.
So, and then we can sort of like, but I mean, the practicalities of, for instance, the setting up the work groups and sort of talking about the